I just got the Ulanzi URIG and the Neewer wide-angle lens, and I'm gonna review it now in this video. But before I do that, I want to tell you why I actually bought them, because some of you know I already had like a Ulanzi wide-angle shot. Well, it broke down, it fell off my camera. You can check out the latest video I published about it here, explaining like what happened and why I think it fell off. Bottom line, it broke, didn't stay on for long on my Sony ZV1, and I needed a new solution. Luckily, I found this thing, which is the Neewer L2 LS18 HD wide macro conversion lens for Sony ZV1. I'm actually using it right now. The footage that you're seeing right now from the camera is using the Neewer wide-angle lens. I don't know if you actually could tell the difference between this lens and the Ulanzi lens, because they're both like 18 millimeters or around 18 millimeters. So it gives out the same kind of wide angle shot. But the main difference between the Ulanzi one and the Neewer one is that the Neewer one comes with an adapter that is not glued on the camera, which makes it much more stronger and sturdy, in my opinion. And the reason that I got the URIG cage, which you can see right here, is that I was basically very annoyed, like a lot of people have mentioned about the Sony ZV1, and when you attach a tripod to it, is that it blocks the entry to the battery compartment and the SD card. So every time I was filming and the battery was low and I gotta change the batteries, I gotta unscrew the tripod that I'm using at that moment, open up the battery, put the battery, switch the battery to a new one, close it, and screw the tripod back in, which in essence doesn't sound, you know, that difficult, and it's not difficult, but it's time consuming. And if you want to get a specific shot, you don't want to waste time switching batteries. Cage gives you an opportunity to connect your camera to a tripod, but still leaving room here, as you can see here, to switch the batteries without disconnecting the tripod, which is a huge deal. So that's like the main reason I got the cage. Also, this nice like fake wood, I think it's fake, I mean it feels kind of right, fake wood wooden handle gives you like a better grip on your camera, and also on top you get these 3 holes that you can plug microphones or other lights and that nature. You can also do that here on the side. So it just gives you like more flexibility when using the Sony ZV1 as a vlogger, which is what I do. So it just kind of makes sense. Also, this thing only costs like maybe 40 bucks. I think it's around $40 on Amazon. I'll link to everything in the description below, so don't worry if you want to get it yourself. So, you know, it's a no-brainer. For that price, you can upgrade your vlogging gear. Why not? So I bought it. I'm going to show you right now how the lens is connected to the camera while I'm using it, because I want to show you how it looks like. So I'm going to switch to my iPhone right now, and you can see how it looks like when I'm shooting it, right? You can see it's pretty big. It's much bigger than the Ulanzi lens, but this little thing here, what makes the whole difference in my point of view is that this little thing is the adapter that kind of sits on top of your camera, and this is not glued over, right? This is connected with a screw, and I'm going to show you that in a second, which basically means it won't fall off unless the screw comes off, which it shouldn't happen because, you know, why wouldn't it? It's much more sturdier. And once you have this adapter on, I'm going to show you just now, you kind of like connect the lens itself with like a half turn, and it kind of clicks in, and that's it, it's there. And you have a quick release button that you press on the side to release it, so it kind of is like in and out in just under a second, which is amazing in my opinion, just like any other lens that you would want to connect to any other DSLR camera, right? So that is a huge improvement for the Sony ZV1 in my opinion, and it's a much better solution than the adhesive that Ulanzi uses. This is just my take on it, but so far I think it just makes sense. Once you have the mount on, you can take the adapter on, and you can see this red dot here. You gotta align it with the red dot that is on the adapter that you just mounted on your Sony ZV1, and I'm going to show you how you just click it together. Now what you do is just you align the two red dots, and then you turn it clockwise like half a turn, and you hear the click, and once you hear that click, it's on there, and you know it won't fall off. It feels very, very sturdy, and obviously it adds weights to the camera, but it feels very, very sturdy, which is what was important for me. And you also have this button that's quick release button on the side, that if you want to release your lens and the adapter, you kind of press it and turn it a half turn counterclockwise, and you know the lens is off. Now I'm going to show you how I put the actual lens on once you have this adapter. So this just screws like any other lens that you would on a DSLR camera. You just align it and screw it tightly onto the adapter to make sure that it's firmly screwed on so it won't fall off. And you can see how I do it now. And once that's on, you take the cover off, oopsie, and that's it. Now your wide angle lens is connected, and to me it feels much more sturdier than the Ulanzi wide angle lens, just because of the adapter that kind of screws on your Sony ZV1 actual lens, built-in lens, with that screw on the side. It won't fall off. I can shake it, I can put it upside down. It feels so strong that I'm not worried about it. And this is exactly what I wanted when I purchased the new lens. Alright, so now you saw how to put it back together and why I think it's great. Honestly, the adhesive glue thing just didn't click to me, and I can honestly say that looking back, right, hindsight 2020, I should have gotten the newer wide angle lens right off the bat. This solution just makes more sense to me. And I want to share a quick tip that I learned from a YouTuber called Jack Woodhams. I'm going to link to you, shout out here or something. Jack Woodhams reviewed the newer wide angle lens. I think it's called a Gizmon, right? In his video it's called a Gizmon, and he gave a great tip that after you put the adapter on the camera, you basically can screw on filters, any different kind of lens that you would like, because it fits perfectly. I don't know all the details, like all the technical details. He's much more like tech savvy and photographic savvy than me, but basically you can get other lenses that will probably fit this adapter, so you could use them on your Sony ZV1, which is a huge upgrade in my opinion to why this camera now is basically like the best camera I could use, because now I have the adapter on and I can just basically put on any filter that I want or any other lens that I want, which is a great tip that I learned from him. Quick shout out, go visit his YouTube channel. He's making really good videos and I learned a lot from them about YouTube and photography. as well. So the same thing I did when I bought the Ulanzi wide angle lens, I'm gonna give this lens a try for a couple of months. I'm gonna do another review about it in a couple of months to tell you my impressions after actually using it in real life situations. I'm very optimistic about this one. I don't think any issues will arise, but you know, I didn't think any issues will arise with the Ulanzi one, so we'll just have to wait and see. So far, I'm very happy with it, and the footage looks great. Now let's talk about the Ulanzi URIG cage. First glance, when I got this thing, I was very happy with it. I mean, it looks very good. It actually looks nice, and it has all these holes that you can just mount things on them. And similar to the lens that I just got, this thing also has like the screw solution, and it's not glued or anything like that. So how you put it on is you just basically like mount it on your Sony ZV1, on your actual built-in lens, and then you just screw this thing tight, right? And it screws over your lens kinda, and that holds it tight in the cage, which is again a very easy and simple solution, but much better than adhesive glues or any stuff like that. So I was very happy when I saw this, and I immediately like put it on my camera, and it felt great holding this with this handle. Feels much better than the built-in Sony ZV1 handle, which is kind of small and not very comfortable. This is much more comfortable, and like I said before, the opening here that you can change batteries without taking the tripod off is a huge advantage. It's really easy to assemble, anyone can do it. And yeah, I was very excited. But unfortunately, I won't be using it. And here's why. I think it's an excellent product, but silly, it doesn't fit the camera once I put the newer wide angle lens adapter on, right? So this cage is a Ulanzi product, and the old wide angle lens that I owned was also a Ulanzi product. Both cage and lens are made by the same company, so it fits very well together. However, the newer wide angle lens and this URIG are not made by the same company, and unfortunately, based on my experience so far, it doesn't fit. So I either have to use this cage, but then I can't use the wide angle lens, or I use the wide angle lens and I can't use it together with this cage. And as you can see, because I'm holding the cage in my hand, I decided to leave the wide angle lens because it's much more important for me, and I will just look for a new cage that fits the Sony ZV1 that also fits the newer wide angle shot lens. It sucks for me because I already paid for it and it looks really good, but it doesn't work together, so you know, I gotta do what I gotta do. I will link to everything down in the description below for the cage, for the lens, for the old lens, so you could get and kind of review it yourself and decide for yourself what you want to do. If you made it this far into the video, I appreciate it. Please give me the thumbs up. As always, make sure you subscribe as I drop a new video every Wednesday. Some of them are tech reviews like I just did. Some of them are entrepreneurial videos about business and how to start a business and how to scale. I hope someone gained value from this video. If, like I always say, if even one person gains value from my videos, my job is complete. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.